The mountain village of Stonehaven clung to the rocky slopes like lichen. Its people hardened by wind and winter, they spoke in gruff tones, valued strength above all, and viewed the wild woods beyond their fields with deep suspicion. Legends of fierce creatures, particularly the elusive gray wolves that haunted the high passes, were told around crackling hearth fires to wide-eyed, fearful children. Among them lived a boy named Elias, unusually quiet and thoughtful for his 10 years. While other boys wrestled and boasted, Elias felt most at peace sitting by the chattering stream. Listening to the wind sigh through the pines, he watched spiders weave intricate webs and birds build nests with patient care. Sensing a profound order in the wildness, others feared this quietness, however, marked him as strange, different from the sturdy villagers, earning him puzzled looks and the occasional unkind whisper. One crisp autumn afternoon, tasked with gathering late berries from the forest's edge, Elias ventured deeper than usual. Drawn by the tracks of a deer, the air grew cooler. The light dappled and golden beneath the ancient trees. Suddenly, a sharp, pained whimper pierced the stillness, utterly unlike any forest sound he knew. Following the sound with his heart pounding, Elias pushed through a thicket of brambles and found the source. Trapped beneath a heavy, storm-fallen branch lay a magnificent young wolf, its gray fur matted with blood near its hind leg. Fear shone in its golden eyes, but deeper still was an agony that struck Elias to his core. The villagers' warning screamed in his mind, yet seeing the creatura as suffering silenced them. It wasn't a monster. It was a living being in desperate pain. Ignoring the instinct to flee, Elias approached slowly, murmuring soft, nonsense words like his mother used when he was hurt. The wolf tensed, baring its teeth in a feeble snarl. But exhaustion and pain overwhelmed its defenses. Elias saw the branch wasn't impossibly heavy, just awkwardly wedged. Summoning all his strength, bracing his feet against the mossy ground, he pushed, muscles straining, face red. He heaved the weight just enough for the wolf to scramble free, collapsing instantly onto the forest floor. Panting heavily, Elias didn't run. He sat a careful distance away, pulling strips of cloth from his water flask to clean his hands. He spoke gently, his voice a steady hum in the quiet glade, telling the wolf about the clouds drifting overhead and the taste of the berries in his pouch, offering calmness like a lifeline. Day after day, Elias returned to the hidden glade. He brought fresh water, carefully cleaned the wolf's wound with herbs he'd learned about from the village healer, though he never said why he needed them, and shared bits of his own food, dried meat, cheese, wild apples. He named the wolf Ash for the soft gray of his coat. At first, Ash would only watch him with wary eyes, accepting the offerings but keeping his distance, a low growl rumbling in his chest if Elias moved too quickly. Elias respected the space, speaking softly, never forcing contact. He'd simply sit, sometimes for hours, reading aloud from a worn book or just being present. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the fear in Ash's eyes softened. One remarkable day, as Elias sat sketching a bird on a piece of bark, Ash limped closer, finally resting his great head on the moss, just an arm's length away. Closing his eyes in Elias's presence, the bond deepened with the turning seasons. Ash's leg healed, though he carried a slight limp. He no longer hid when Elias approached. Instead, his tail would give a tentative thump against the ground. Elias learned Ash's language. The flick of an ear, the tilt of the head, the different meanings in his whines. Ash, in turn, seemed attuned to Elias's moods, offering silent companionship. When the boy felt the sting of isolation from the village, they explored secret paths in the high meadows, Ash moving with a silent grace. Elias admired. Elias felt a profound understanding bloom within him. The wild wasn't something to conquer with force, but a world that could meet trust with trust, respect with loyalty. He saw the intelligence in Ash's gaze, the care in how he interacted with his environment, the fierce protectiveness he showed towards Elias himself. The villagers' fear of the wolves peaked when early snows fell heavy and deep, driving desperate game lower than usual. One evening, shouts erupted near the sheep pens on the outskirts. A large wolf, separated from its pack and driven by hunger, had tried to snatch a lamb. Men grabbed pitchforks and torches, their faces grim, ready to hunt the predator down. Elias, hearing the commotion, felt a cold dread grip him. He knew the wolf they described wasn't Ash, but he also knew the villagers wouldn't distinguish. He slipped away, running towards the woods, whistling the soft, unique call Ash knew to the utter astonishment of the armed men gathering. A powerful gray wolf emerged from the treeline, not menacingly, but walking calmly beside the strange boy. Elias stood before the crowd, Ash a solid, silent presence at his side. Please, Elias pleaded, his voice clear despite his fear. Don't hunt them all for one mistake. You're just trying to live. Like a silence fell, heavy and thick. The men stared, disbelief warring with ingrained fear. They saw the wolf standing calmly beside the boy, saw the intelligence in its eyes, saw the lack of aggression. They saw Elias, no longer just the quiet odd boy, but someone radiating a strange, undeniable courage born of deep connection. The head shepherd, a burly man named Garrett who had often grumbled about Elias, lowered his pitchfork slightly. Boy, he began, his voice rough. That beast, it listens to you? Elias simply nodded, placing a hand gently on Ash's broad head. Ash didn't flinch. He leaned into the touch. That single gesture, more than any words, shattered years of fearful assumptions. The hunt was called off hesitantly, cautiously. Stonehaven began to change. Years flowed by like the mountain streams. Elias grew taller, but his quiet strength remained. Ash, though still a creature of the wild, became a familiar, accepted presence near the village, often seen padding beside Elias as he tended to tasks. Elias became a bridge. He taught the children how to observe animals without startling them, showed the hunters signs of healthy game trails, explained how wolves kept the deer herd strong. The deep fear of the woods softened into wary respect, then into a burgeoning appreciation. Stonehaven learned that strength wasn't only in the arm that wields an axe, but also in the hand offered in quiet understanding, in the heart that chooses compassion over fear. The legend of the fierce wolf slowly transformed, woven now with the tale of the quiet boy who showed them a different way. The boy who had tamed not just a wolf, but the hardened hearts of his people. Through the simple, profound power of gentleness and trust, he taught them that the truest wildness isn't found in the forest, but in the untamed potential for kindness within every soul.